Hello everyone, this is South Alabama Cooking coming to you live from the old home place out in the wilderness. I am going to make some homemade pies today, and I am going to use a homemade pie crust. I'm going to use my recipe for the Never Fail pie crust. I've already got it mixed up, and if you want that recipe, just look on my channel. It'll say Never Fail pie crust. So here we are right here on the bar. I've already got me some flour out here. I've already been cooking. Actually, I made a chicken pot pie earlier, so I had rolled out pie crust for that. And I've got this extra pie crust left over. So I'm just going to roll some out for one of my pie plates. Let's get this going. I've been in a cooking mood today. Do you ever get in a cooking mood? I know you can get in a sewing mood. I'm a seamstress. I know how to sew. So sometimes I would get in a sewing mood when I was younger. Now, I don't get in a sewing mood anymore. But I do alterations or whatever whenever I need something altered. But I don't really get in a sewing mood. I don't enjoy sewing, but I enjoy cooking. So I have been in a cooking mood today. Okay. Some people get what? In a fishing mood, in a camping mood. I do love to fish and camp. I really love to do that. And I am kind of itching to do that. And as soon as this weather will warm up just a little bit, I plan on doing some van camping. I have a high top van, and I love to van camp. And I've got a canoe, and I'll pull that canoe and go put it out in the edge of the Gulf. Run over to a little peninsula with it and fish over there and throw the cast net and catch some shrimp. And you know, it's a whole lot cheaper if you can catch your own shrimp for your gumbo than to have to buy it. So I like to throw that cast net and catch my shrimp. That way my shrimp's free. I don't have to buy it. And it's fresh. Okay, I'm rolling this pie crust out here. All right, let me see how thick it is. Got a spatula here to kind of slide up under it, because it'll stick to the bar. All right. Okay, that feels good. That thickness feels good right there. Now I have my Pyrex pie plates here, and when I got married back, I'd have to even try to think how long ago it's been. I got 3 of these given to me, so I still have them after all these years. And I'm going to lift this up, hopefully, without tearing it up too bad. This pie crust is a very delicate thing to have to work with. See, I just folded it over twice. Got it like that. We're going to put it up over in here. And see, I've got the edge right here up, and I don't have it quite up far enough. Let me move it up a little bit more. We'll fold it out into this pie plate. Hope you can see what I'm doing here. There we go. We're folding it out into this pie plate. I need it to move over some, a little bit. All right. Just kind of get it in place here. Then we've got these little extra edges on the side. We're going to try to make them kind of pretty. Let me get me a knife here. All right, I'm going to trim some of this off. Just trimming off some of this pie crust just a little bit. All right. Okay, now I want to take these edges and just kind of fold them with my fingers here, and we're going to try to make this kind of look pretty. Let me see if I can add this to the edge here. Kind of fold this up here on this edge because I don't quite have enough. Crust. Let me find me a piece of crust out of this bowl. I'm looking in this bowl where I've got my pie crust. Okay. Trying to fix the edges here where that I can make a pretty little edge on this pie crust. All right. Just kind of folding it up. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer so you can see better what I'm doing here. See, I'm just kind of going around and folding it under right now. Okay. Folding the edges under a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to just start pinching it and making a little design on it so that it'll make a pretty little design on the edges. And we'll have a cute little homemade pie crust. And people will be so impressed. You know, years ago, I'm trying to think how long ago it was. I was probably in my late 30s or early 40s. And I had made a pie for our church function. We were having dinner after one of the services. And I had made, I believe it was a lemon meringue pie. And I had made the homemade pie crust, you know, and was using one of these pie plates right here. And one of my friends, she was a couple of years younger than me, and she didn't know that I had made that pie. And later on, when I was going, I guess, to clean up, you know, we had eaten, and we were cleaning up our dishes and stuff. She said, "Denise, did you make that pie?" And I said, yeah, I made it. She said, when I saw that pie with that homemade pie crust, I thought to myself, some old lady has made that pie because that's got a homemade pie crust. And so she thought, you know, only it would have to be an old lady that made that pie because of that homemade pie crust. And we just laughed and got a big kick out of that because we were both probably, you know, in our early 40s. And, you know, to me, that's not old. Now, some of you young whippersnappers that are in your 20s, you look at 40 and you think, ooh, that's ancient. But it's not. I look back on that and I was a young chick. Okay, I've got that. I've got my edges decorated. Let me hold that up there. See that? I just took my thumb and first finger of both hands and just decorated that, just bent it between my fingers and my thumbs and made that little design. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is get a fork, and I want to prick the bottom of this pie crust with this fork because I'm going to cook this pie crust. I'm going to go ahead and bake the pie crust before I put the filling in it. And when you bake this pie crust, it will want to bubble up. So if you'll put these little pricks in it with the fork, it'll help keep it from bubbling up. Now, some people will take a bag of dry beans and pour it out. I'm going to kind of prick it around on the side too. Some people I've seen take a bag of dry beans and just pour it out of the package and into the pie crust, and then bake the pie crust like that. And those dry beans in this pie crust will keep that pie crust from bubbling up. So that's another way you can do it if you want to do that. Okay, this pie crust is ready to go in the oven. Let me get some of this flour off at the bottom of it. This pie crust is ready to go in the oven. I've got my oven on 350, and I'm going to bake it until it's just lightly brown. Okay, there's my oven. It'll take, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe, something like that. All right, we're going to let that cook. And while that's cooking, we'll get started on the filling for this pie. Okay, I'm working on putting the pie filling together. And I'm over here cracking and separating my eggs, and I'm on the very last one, and I forgot to show you. So let's turn this around. Here we are. Got this cracked open, and I'm letting the egg white go in this big bowl, and my yellows go in the smaller bowl. I'll fix that smaller bowl where you can see it here in just a minute. Let's scoot that over just a little bit, maybe. Okay, now you can see it. Now this is just the old-fashioned way to separate eggs. You can buy egg separators, but I just do it this way. It's just what I'm used to. And I've got egg separators, and I've used them and stuff and tried them, but I don't know. This is just what I'm used to, so this is what I do. Okay, there's that other egg yolk. I put it in there. Okay, so I've got 4 eggs separated. Washing my hands off. Give me just a minute here. Okay, I've got 4 eggs separated. Now, on my timer's going off, let's check and see if the pie crust is ready, okay? Let's look at it. Okay, I want it to brown just a little bit more than that, so I'm going to slide it back in there. I'll set my timer for about 3 more minutes, and we'll see how that looks. All right, got that going. Now, these egg whites, I'm going to make a meringue with them. So we're just going to set them to the side. Now I need to add my cornstarch with these egg yolks. I need 1/4 cup of cornstarch. So let me get that dipped up here. Get me a 1/4 cup. Okay, I've got a 1/8 cup, so I'll just use 2 of those, and that will equal 1/4. Here's my cornstarch. Here's my little 1/8 cup. 2 of these. And this cornstarch and eggs, that's what's going to thicken this pie filling. Okay, I don't know if I've told you what kind of pie I'm going to make. I'm going to make a coconut cream pie. That is Carla's favorite pie. And I didn't get to make her one for her birthday. I think, trying to think what happened, I think we had a hurricane that had come in, and I didn't get to make her a coconut cream pie. So, I'm going to do that right now and surprise her with it. All right, let me go get a spoon. I need to stir this up. I need to stir this up, this egg yolks and cornstarch. Let me get this stirred up. Okay, there's that. Got that stirred up. Now we need to start putting some stuff in our boiler over here on the stove. So there's our boiler. Let me see if I can scoop this just a little bit closer so you can see a little better. All right. We want to start out with, let me see what we want to start out with. Oh, there's my timer again. Okay, let's check the pie crust. All right, it's starting to look brown. I think that's going to be all right. I'm going to go ahead and just set it out because it will cook a little more because the pie plate is hot. So that's going to cook it a little more. It's a little bit brown. I'm going to go ahead and just set it over on my counter and let it be cooling some. All right, that's got that. That's great. All right, so we need to, let's get back around here with the filling. Okay, so we need, I'm looking at my recipe here. I don't make this recipe often enough to have it committed to memory. Okay, so I need 1 14-ounce can of coconut milk. Let me put this in here. All right, and let me see what's next on my list. Okay, I need 1 cup of half and half. Now, I don't have any half and half, but I've got whole milk and I've got heavy whipping cream. So if you take a half and half is just 50% whole milk and 50% whipping cream. So I will use a half a cup of each, and that will make me half and half. That's a substitution that you can do. So it's good to know how to substitute some things. Okay, let me see if I have a half. Here's my half cup measure. I'm going to use 1/2 of each. Here's my whipping cream. We'll put in 1/2 cup. There we go. Now let me get my whole milk. We'll put in a half a cup of whole milk. And we're fixed up. Okay, that's great. All right, let me look at my recipe. What comes next? Okay, it says 1/2 teaspoon of salt, but I'm going to use probably about 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt because it also calls for unsalted butter, and all I have is salted butter. So my butter's going to have some salt in it. So I'm just going to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. Let's see. And here's a 1/4 teaspoon. I need some salt. Well, that was a little much. Let me pour some back in. All right, there's that. Okay. And I need 2/3 cup of sugar. Let's see. I've been cooking today, so I'm kind of running low on clean measuring cups. So let me see what I got in here. That's a 1/2 cup. And what does it say I'm needing? 2/3 cup sugar. So you know what? I'm just going to take my 1 cup. This may actually have 2/3 on it. No, I'm just going to take my 1 cup and I'm going to estimate. 2/3 is a little less than 1/4. It's a little more than 1/2. No, what did I say? 2/3 is a little less than 3/4. It's a little more than 1/2. So I'm trying to get this measured out like I think it should be. Okay, there we go. I'm going to say that that is about 2/3. We're going to put that in there. All right. Now I need to cook this until it starts boiling. So let me get this stirred up. We're going to bring this to a boil. Oh, you're not seeing what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. So this is half and half coconut milk and sugar and salt. Let me make sure that's everything. Yes, I want to bring this to a boil and cook it for 2 minutes. Okay, I've been thinking about this, and it doesn't make sense to me to let this milk and sugar boil for 2 minutes. Seems like it would scald the milk to me, so I don't think I'm really going to do that. It's already pretty hot. Okay, I need to take a little bit of this mixture and pour it in with my egg mixture and temper this egg mixture. We don't want to just dump this egg mixture over in here, because if you do, you're going to end up with scrambled eggs. It's going to cook these eggs. So we want to just add a little bit of this milk mixture to this and stir it up, and then pour it into the boiler. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have to be really careful about how much of this we add into it, a little bit at a time. Okay, let's add a little bit more, and this is starting to boil, so I'm going to move it over to the side onto my other burner. I just don't like the idea of just the milk and sugar boiling like that. Once we get enough of this hot milk mixed in with our eggs, then we can pour this back into our boiler. We're going to go ahead and dilute it down a pretty good bit. Good, this is looking good. We've almost got it where we can just pour it back into our mixture here. Let me put like maybe one more spoonful in there, and it's getting hot, so I'm going to have to hold it by the edge. Maybe 2 more spoonfuls. There we go. All right, mix this up, and we should be able to pour this into our boiler now. All right. Now let's pour this back in, and we'll just stir this while we'll stir the milk in the boiler while we're pouring this in. All right. Then we're going to put it back on the burner, and we're going to let this start thickening up. Just kind of rinse this bowl out. Okay. Let's put this on the burner. Let it start thickening up. Okay, we're just going to cook this and stir it until it thickens up. All right, it's starting to thicken up some. See that on the spoon? I'm going to change over to a whisk where I can keep this filling smooth as it cooks. I'll use this whisk to keep it smoothed out. Okay, here we go. All right, this is working great. All right, look how good and thick that is. See how thick that is? All right, that's great. I'm going to pull it off the burner. Now we need to add our last ingredients to this, and that is we need 1 cup of sweetened shredded coconut. So let's get that and put that in there. Here's my 1 cup measurer. Oh, that's almost too much. A little bit back in there. Okay, 1 cup. There we go. All right, we need 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, but all I've got is the salted. But I made adjustments for that in the amount of salt that I added earlier. Okay, so let me get my 2 tablespoons of butter. And I'm just eyeballing this. All right, and now we need to put our flavorings in there. We've got 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. This bottle's almost empty. Oh, y'all can't see what I'm doing. Okay, let me turn this around where y'all can see what I'm doing. All right, this bottle's almost empty, so I'm going to use what's left in it. And open up this other one. Okay, that empties out that bottle. Let's go ahead and fill it up. This is 1 teaspoon. Okay, of vanilla. Then I want a 1/2 teaspoon of coconut extract. Okay. All right, there we go. Now that's got all of our ingredients mixed in there. We want to mix this up together real good. Let's just get this all mixed up together, and then we'll be ready to put it in our pie crust. I'll throw a little bit more coconut in there. Okay, there we go. Stir this up real good. The butter's melting. Once we get that butter melted, we'll be ready to put this stuff in the pie crust. Okay, I think it's melted. Get that off of here. All right. get my pie crust. Here's my pie crust right here. We're going to pour this in. Look at that. That's the filling. And I don't know if I can hold this where you can see exactly what I'm doing or not. I'm going to pour it into the pie crust. And Carla is driving up and she has no idea that I am making her this coconut cream pie. So she's going to be a happy girl when she finds this out. Ooh, this is beautiful. Wow. I'm going to put a meringue on the top of this. You can put Cool Whip, you can put whipped cream, you can make your own homemade whipped cream. Just whatever topping you want on there, you can put it on there. Okay, there's that. I'm leaving a little bit on the spoon so I can lick that spoon and taste it. Okay, that's got that much of the pie made. Now the next step is going to be to make our meringue and put the meringue on top of the pie and brown that meringue. Let's make the meringue to go on top of our coconut cream pie. I have my oven heating up to 400 because we're going to need to brown this meringue once we get it on top of the pie. So I've got my KitchenAid stand mixer out right there, and I have 4 egg whites in my mixing bowl here, and that is from the 4 eggs that I used in making the coconut cream pie. I used the egg yolks in the pie. Now I've got the 4 egg whites, and that's what we're going to make the meringue with. So let's get this over here on my mixer. Now, I want to add a little more than 1/4 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar. My meringue recipe says for 3 egg whites to add 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar. So I've got 4 egg whites, so I need to add just a little more than 1/4 of a teaspoon. Let me find something to open this up with. This cream of tartar's never been opened before. Okay, get it open. All right, here's my 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to let it be a heaping 1/4 teaspoon. We'll drop that in there. And for each egg white, you want to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. So I'm going to need 8 tablespoons of sugar. Here's my tablespoon. I'll measure them out, put them in there. Okay, there's my 8 tablespoons of sugar. Now we want to turn this mixer on, and we want to beat these egg whites until they form peaks. That'll take a few minutes. Let's start it out. I see a little something here. Let me get this out of here if I can. Okay. I'm going to start it out on low so it hopefully don't swing sugar everywhere. Kind of let that get beat up, and then we'll turn it up a little higher. Okay, let's see what it looks like. I actually think it looks about ready. Okay, that only took just a few minutes in this stand mixer. It whips it up quickly. All All right, that's good. See if I can get this out of here. I have to use my fingers to get this off of here. All right, I think that's about the best I can do with that. Okay, let me rinse my hands off. All right, here's my coconut cream pie right here. I'm going to put this meringue on top of it, spread it out. You want to seal the meringue to the edges of your pie crust. That's to help keep your meringue from shrinking when you cook it in the oven and it begins to, and then it'll cool down. That will help keep your meringue from shrinking. So see, I'm bringing it all the way to the edge of the pie crust and sealing it up against that pie crust. Y'all hear my clock chiming? Chiming out the time. That clock was a gift from the telephone company. My daddy worked for the telephone company, and after he had worked so many years, I don't know how many, 25, I don't really know, they would give them at different intervals, you know, 10 years, 15 years, 20, 25 years. They would give them different little things. And that was one of the things that they gave them one year was that clock that chimes on the hour and the half hour. All right, it's about got it all out of there. Get it on here and just kind of get it swirled around. Make some kind of pretty design with it. And then we're going to slip it into the oven. And let it brown on top. I'm working on it, trying to make something pretty. All right, we'll go with that right there. Now, I'll put it in the oven. Keep a close watch on it. Let it brown real pretty. We'll check it in a few minutes. All right, let's check this pie with the meringue. Let's see what it's looking like. Ooh, this is beautiful. Look at here. Ain't that pretty? I tell you what, Carla's gonna be one happy girl when she gets to eat this pie. All right, there it is. Let me shut this oven. There it is. We're going to we'll put this pie in the refrigerator, let it cool overnight, and then in the morning it'll be ready to eat. And I tell you the truth, I might eat pie for breakfast. I know that won't be healthy, but I don't do it every day. So I may just do that. Okay, I'm so glad that y'all were here with me and was in the kitchen visiting with me and watched me make this pie. And I hope y'all are doing well, and God bless y'all, and we'll see y'all the next time that I have something cooking in the kitchen.